So Har-Tru Sports, is anybody know where we're based? See how smart you guys are. Charlotte, that is a very good guess. You left off about 5 letters. Charlottesville, yeah, that's it. Charlottesville, yeah. So we're in Charlottesville, Virginia. One way that I bet I can help everybody remember what town we're from is that Charlottesville is the home of the defending men's NCAA tennis champions, the Virginia Cavaliers. I'm sure that's going to play well out here. We have an extraordinary group of associates that work for Har-Tru Sports that are engaged at all levels of the game. We have people who have taught at a high level, who've played at a high level. We have people who've helped design and build facilities all over the world. People who've volunteered, people who've started tennis associations. And our goal as a company is to bring all the talents and experiences we have to bear to try to help use the resources at our disposal to help develop champions around the world. That's what gets us out of bed every day. That's what we want to do. And that's why this event means a lot to us, because we really feel like it aligns directly with that effort. And this community is a terrific tennis community and has been for a long, long time. And California, I would say, leads the world in many things. They lead the world in technology. They lead the world in things like environmental policy. But I'm afraid they fall a little behind the curve when it comes to tennis. And the surfaces of the world, if you've been paying attention, the surfaces of the world have slowed down. I mean, it's just the way it is. They've slowed down tremendously. And so, add out to all the other countries that practice a great deal on Claycourt surfaces and have had to learn those lessons that come along with them. And this is a community that we see we can have an impact on, and that excites us. We feel like this tennis community is truly amazing in terms of having everything from USTA leagues to competitive tournaments to incredible college tennis. And you've produced a lot of champions in the history of the game. So we hope that our involvement in some way will be a catalyst for that, to re-energize some of that and boost what's already going on out here. And we're really glad we could participate. I mentioned our belief in this community. Let's see if Brad knows this statistic here. Brad, do you realize that there is one country that has a lot more Grand Slam titles than any other country?
Yeah.
And do you think that's the U.S.?
What about just the state of California?
Just the state of California has more Grand Slam titles than any other country in the world. So if you go look up who's won Grand Slams and how many of those players have come from California, it is an awesome and inspiring tradition. And if you're a young player here today, wow, what a great place to be growing up and playing. And as I mentioned, our feeling is that when you have such a great community, and when we feel we have a product that we believe in that can help that community, we want to do whatever we can to get it out here. So I'm announcing today that we've got $500,000 set aside as a company that we are willing to invest in any tennis facility that will put in 10 clay courts or more. And 10 clay courts is important because if you want to run a national tournament, you got to have 10 courts. This is an unbelievable event on 2 courts, but Matt might not have any hair left when it's done. You should. Yeah. So anyhow, you really need 10 courts in order to run a national event, and you also need 10 courts in order to really have an integrated base for a junior training center, which I know Amy would love to have as well. So we would like to be a catalyst to see the next Grand Slam champion who's going to pull it out here from California. And we hope that this announcement today will generate some interest, and anybody can contact Tim who has ideas or would be interested in trying to figure out how we could get that type of facility in here that would make a difference in a lot of people's lives. So now the real meat of the day, now the person we've been looking forward to talking to. We got to know Brad last year, and he's a terrific individual, and you all probably know him very well because this is his home base up here, and he's obviously a internationally known commentator. He's an author. He's coached at the highest levels of the game, reached as high as number 4 in the world in singles, I think. That's pretty darn good. He's willing to come out here and share some stories with us today. And really what I asked Brad to do was talk a little bit about, what he's seeing happening at the professional levels of the game, and really at all levels of the game, because you all are up and coming talented tennis players, and to have a chance to hear from a coach like this, I think is very valuable. So help me out to welcome Brad here.
Well, that was an amazing offer. I want to nominate Golden Gate Park for the clay courts. Can I just nominate them? Because that's where I played a lot as a kid. And as a lot of you know, I'm a lifer. I've been playing tennis since I've been 3 years old. I'm almost 52. All I did in my life was cross one bridge from Piedmont to San Rafael. And just like so many of you, I grew up here playing tournaments. And, our family that's what we were all about. But today, I'm here to tell you about embracing clay. When I was a kid, clay was like dirt on the road somewhere. We didn't have one clay court. There might have been this one little place in San Leandro that had literally 2 dirt courts with a net and some lines. That's about it. We have a great history in Northern California of champions. So does Southern California. But as you can see, the rest of the world is massively caught up, and we've come way behind, and it's all because of clay courts. Everywhere you go in Europe, everybody's playing on clay. Public facilities, clubs, and they take pride in playing on it. My brother lives in the East Coast, and every club that you might find might have one hard court, but it's all clay. Here we're lucky if we get one clay court. But it would be my dream to see at least 75% of the tournaments in Northern Cal, first to last round, played on clay. And we need to embrace clay, especially as a 10-year-old. It teaches you discipline, how to build a point. The most important thing now in the modern game of tennis is footwork. You learn to get footwork by playing on clay, embracing the right leg slide. And to me, the other surfaces now, if you learn to play on clay, if you just watch the tennis at Wimbledon, the courts at Wimbledon are way slower than the asphalt courts that I learned to play on here. Hard courts now, if you see all the ATP and WTA tournaments, hard courts, the balls are bouncing up to your chest, to your neck. They're much higher bouncing, slower, much slower conditions. Even indoor courts that we used to play on carpet are slower surfaces. Not to mention, you see more injuries for kids now because it's just not that natural to be playing on cement. And a lot of people say, Rafa, he only likes to play on clay and he complains about playing on cement. Well, I don't see that we play too much soccer and too many other sports in the world on cement. And I wish that I would have learned to embrace it as a kid, or we would have had it. Maybe I would have been a little better on it, or somebody would have taught me how to move. But the more I see it, the more I watch it, and the more I understand it, all the best players in the world, when their kids are learning to play on clay. So that's one thing here in this state, because we have great history, great talent, but we need to embrace new technology, which is clay courts. Not one court at a place, not 2, maybe not just one tournament on it. We need to have like the sectional on it. We need to have like some of our championship level tournaments on it. That will make other clubs want to have it, and we'll set it apart. When I go all over the world, you talk to kids, you see what they're doing. Almost every one of them that's in the top 20 learn to play on clay. Maybe they play indoors on a faster court, but the basis of their game was on clay.